Hello everybody, it's me again, Mars100. He has everything or whatever. And sorry, I have a cold, still recovering from it. But it's back to crappy creepypasta readings. Yes, after a long hiatus. Well, not really hiatus, just a little, you know, I had a cold. We're back with crappy creepypastas, so we're gonna be reading 2 today. Possibly 3 if this doesn't take that long. The 2 are called Arthur Lost Episode, Arthur Suicide, and PlayStation Suffer, so those would be good. And if we have enough time, we'll be reading a 3rd one called Arthur's and Friends, The Theory. So let's get into these. I'm so excited. The story. I was with my brother and I was bored, so he made me watch Arthur, and I said, "Do I have to?" And he said, "You must." It was boring, and when the theme song came up, it was normal, but I saw this image flash quickly, and I could barely make it out. Because we used to love Arthur as kids. The good thing it is still on TV. Okay. But we never got to see the new episodes. Because we got to new things like Dora the Explorer, SpongeBob, Thomas the Tank Engine. Yeah, and Thomas the Tank Engine. I asked my brother if he saw it, and he said, "No, are you having hallucinations?" And I said, "No, this is serious." Okay. I continued to watch it, and the title screen was grayscale, and the title said Arthur's Suicide. Okay. It was a sunny day. Arthur and Francine were practicing for a baseball tournament. Then Muffy was hanging out with Binky. After that, the episode skipped to the next day. It wasn't very pleasant because Binky was Because Binky was murdering people with a knife. Muffy was dead. Sue Ellen was dead. A lot more were dead. Were killed. My brother left the room crying. The students entered the class. This is one of the most horrible parts. There was a very loud scream, and I was really scared when that happened. Everyone was shocked to find a dead child. He was naked. Oh God, no. He was naked, and his guts were ripped out, and his eyes had been stolen. Then the police came to investigate the scene after the murder. After that, episode skipped to Arthur playing the baseball tournament. The scene was weird as everyone had bleeding eyes. Arthur was batting while the bowler... What? The bowler threw the ball straight at him. He got 3 strikes and he got striked out. It skipped to the end of the match where he tried to catch the ball. The batter scored a home run and the score was 18-0. The Elwood City team blamed everything on Arthur. When Arthur got home, the scene was a flashback of all that had happened. Then he heard a voice. He heard a voice saying, "Do it! Just do it! Arthur, it was your fault. Kill yourself." Oh, God damn. It was all your fault. Kill yourself. The final frame was Arthur lying on his bed dead with blood dripping out of his heart. Then I turned off the TV. Epilogue. I turned the TV back on and there was a message saying, "This is your future." After that, I got really scared and contacted PBS Kids to warn them about the episode. They said, "How could this be possible?" I don't know who made this episode, but it definitely wasn't us. A few weeks later, they replied, "We still haven't found the maker of this episode, but we're sure it's the same maker as Squidward's Suicide." At that time, I checked on my brother. He was still crying and he said I never want to watch Arthur again. So I said, "Same as me, but it shouldn't happen again." Well, this is the end of my story and I have nothing else to say. And since up to 2014, I haven't watched all the episodes of Arthur ever again. So the next time you come across this episode, don't watch it. Watch other things. It's for your own good. Gaming is my passion. Nothing can beat it. But the only problem is that I don't have a gaming console. Until now. Well, I just got a job at Sony a couple of months ago as a graphics editor, game creator, and for job reasons, I just got given a PS3 for game testing, so I had ideas about creating the games, which I was relieved about. I couldn't explain how happy I was about it, so I rushed home to set it up. I was feeling better than before, but there was something weird going on. Every word in the instruction leaflet was scribbled out, only left with pictures, which I thought was suspicious, but I just left it because it was getting late, so I went to bed. That morning, I went out to get some games since I didn't have any yet, so I went to a dodgy-looking secondhand store with a sign saying cheap secondhand games. I couldn't resist. So I strolled inside to see what was there. Believe it or not, the games looked brand new, with nothing wrong with them. They were secondhand because they said that on the label, which I didn't understand. So I went and picked out the 2 games and purchased them. But when I left, the man said to me in a sinister voice, saying, "Hope you don't die playing these games." I thought nothing of it, so I just left the store and headed home. The 2 games I bought were Borderlands 2 and Red Dead Redemption. Since it was my day off, I tried out the games I bought. So I placed Borderlands 2 into the console and started a new game. But something wasn't right. Every single weapon I got from the chest were the rare orange class weapons, which you hardly ever get, and there wasn't any enemies in the game either. Weird, I thought. I would swap discs over. Dang, sorry. Discs over because I thought it was just a minor bug that needed resting. So I put Red Dead Redemption into the console, but that was even worse. The home screen was bloody and red, and human organs were everywhere. Then all of a sudden, a death-defying scream came up at full blast in the background. It was the scariest thing I had ever seen. So I switched the disc over again to Borderlands 2, but it was worse than before. Every word in the game was scribbled out like the manual, and everything had blood and guts hanging from every place possible, and every enemy was immensely hard to kill. I had enough of this, so I took out the discs and snapped them into pieces and burnt them into the ashes. But when I got back to the manual of the console, wasn't where I left it, so I looked inside. Nothing was scribbled out anymore, but the sentence, "You will suffer," repeated throughout the whole booklet. But with blood, repeated throughout the whole entire booklet, saying nothing else but that line. But also, on the switched off TV was the same sentence, "You will suffer," but with blood splattering all over the TV screen. Real blood, mind you, real blood, all over the TV screen. I thought it couldn't get any worse, but then a picture popped up on the TV screen. It was the scariest picture I had ever seen. I couldn't take it any longer, so I picked up the PS3, chucked it at the TV. The TV sparked out, but still had the message on it. So I collected my stuff, left my house, but as soon as I got out the door, someone was standing there with a gun to my head and pulled the trigger, and bang! My life was over. Jesus Christ.
First things first.
Well, those are some 2 Creepypasta lads. Oh my gosh, these were just downright terrible. These were just downright terrible. So let's just start with the one called Arthur's Suicide, apparently. And so this one starts out with with an introduction that I did not read for an obvious reason. It was going to break immersion, you know, stuff like that. And basically, you can read the introduction by yourself. I'm not reading it, but basically, the guy who wrote it is called XX Can't 99XX. And before you start, you're gonna be like, "Hey, this might be like first creepypasta or something, or something." Like, come on, did you read that? Did you read the same thing I was reading right here? Did you? And so the creepypasta starts off with, like, you know, the guy. He's like, he wants to watch something else, but you know, his brother, he, like, you know, he gets kind of pissy, like, you must watch Arthur for some reason. And so they watch Arthur, and then out of fucking nowhere, no explanation, a picture pops up on the TV for a split second, like Sonic.exe. Kinda rhymed. And it's never explained again. Like, we don't even know what the picture is, so, you know, like, could be taking out the story all together, so, you know. And then we finally get to the episode, and it says it was a sunny day. It starts out good, sunny day, and then all of a sudden, Binky starts murdering people. No reason, mind you. We didn't even get any type of, you know, like, like, Binky, like, you know, saying, like, I'm so mad at you right now. Like, nothing. Out of nowhere. Nowhere at all. No build-up or anything like that. They just tossed in Binky murdering people like Michael freaking Myers. and then all of a sudden, it cuts to, like, the students entering a classroom. And then this is, like, one of the most horrible parts. Those are loud screams. And they find a dead child. He was naked with his guts ripped out and his eyes stolen. Now, why? Why dead children? You cannot add that unless it is, like, a part of your story. That's why I got so mad at Scribner's Suicide. Like, Scribner's Suicide was actually set in a mood, like, you know, a creepy type of mood. But, you know, as soon as they throw in that dead child, you know, just threw me out of the murder. Like, why? Why'd you just have to, like, include that? Like, you know, Scribner's Suicide was, like, you know, okay for me. Not like, you know, a great creepypasta, but, you know, okay. But they throw it in for no reason. You have to have a reason. You can't just say that, you know, Binky started murdering people and then they just find a dead child just out there. Like, no. And he was naked too, so, you know, like, you know, he's like, you know, having like a naked body, like, you know. And then the police come to investigate, so you know that the police are not going to do anything at all, you know. And then we cut to the scene, Arthur batting, and then the bowler. So you already know that this guy didn't know anything about, you know, baseball. The bowler threw the ball straight at him, and he got 3 strikes, and they lost the game. And then after that, it just turned into some ripoff of, like, you know, like Squidward's Suicide, with, you know, Shia LaBeouf telling him, you know, like, kill himself. And Arthur does, basically. And then after that, they turn off the TV, but they turn it back on again. And a message on the screen saying, "This is your future," is shown for no reason. No reason. And then they email PBS Kids. And then they say, "We haven't found the maker of the episode, but we're sure it's the same creator as Squidward's Suicide." Now, here's a major plot hole. Now, how in the hell do they know the creator of Squidward's Suicide? Inside this original story, they never even explained who the creator was. So how would you know it was the same creator as Squidward's Suicide? And where did we, like, how did we get from Arthur to SpongeBob? Like, come on, like, you know, I'm done ranting about. Let's just get into, like, what would have made it better. So, what would have made it better? Quit the excessive gore. Well, there wasn't really any excessive gore, but, you know, just, you know, quit the shock value. Don't add dead children out of the cut, like, you know, like dead child coming your way. Like, no, don't do that, because that is not, it's a sign that you don't know how to make something creepy. You just throw stuff at the wall and see what actually sticks, you know. You throw shit at the wall to see what sticks, you know. And have some build up. Don't just have it start with, Arthur and Francine, practicing for a baseball tournament, and then after that, Binky just, just starts murdering people out of nowhere. I mean, people out of nowhere. You just can't have that. You can't. Alright? You need some, basically, what would have made this better if you had some build up, you took out the dead child, or at least have some connection to the dead child with the episode or something. And not have it be a ripoff of Squidward Suicide. Like, have it be your own thing. Don't have it be like something based off of, it can't, no, not really based off, but it can be inspired by, like different creepypastas, but don't have it be like a blatant ripoff, okay? Okay? So, let's get to PlayStation Sufferer. And oh boy, this made me laugh a lot. This made me laugh a lot. So, number one, we get one of the most idiotic characters inside of a creepypasta ever. And he gets, like, a job as a graphics editor, game creator, which graphics editor and game creator is not the same thing. Number one, graphic designers make, the graphics for the game, the models, the guns or whatever, the enemies and stuff like that. Even though you do, have to know the basics. I'm not really, like a game creator, more filmmaker, but yeah. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but And so then he gets a PS3 from his job. Like, what? And then he goes to like this cheap secondhand store games. Like, can I go there please? Because I want some cheap secondhand games. And then the clerk says, hope you don't die playing these games. And he thinks nothing of it. The fact that this guy has to say, is reason enough to at least put the games back and get out of that store quick as possible. But he thinks nothing of it because he's an idiot. And so they start to play the games, and he starts to play like Borderlands, and then he gets concerned because every single weapon he got from the chest were like the rare orange class weapons, which had no connection to like any of the story at all. Like he's all surprised about it, and like no, you're just a lucky person. You're a lucky person, man. Like when I first bought like Borderlands 2, basically when I first bought it, one of the first weapons that I got was an orange class weapon. So just chill out, man. Chill out. And then like out of fucking nowhere, the guy, like, blood and gore just starts swinging out everywhere, like out of nowhere, buddy. And then after that, he hears a death-defying scream. And it's the scariest thing you ever seen. I'm sorry, but you can't see airwaves like that. And then he goes on the Red Dead Redemption, and everything's covered with gore and stuff. So like take out the thing. And then guess what? The guy dies at the end. So I would question him dying at the end and writing the story, but this story is so stupid, just so dumb, that has to be one of the most logical things that happen inside this creepypasta. The most logical things that happen inside this creepypasta. I can say that right now. So how can we fix this? All right, how can we fix it? Have some build up. All right, because it just started out with him just buying the games and then just gore everywhere. Have some build up. Try not to make the main character an idiot. Like, don't have him not question anything at all. Like, don't have him, like, have him be like, oh, I don't know why the guy said that, so I might as well put the games back. Don't have him be an idiot, okay? And third of all, don't have the ending be like he dies at the end. Don't have it be like that. I've read many creepypastas, and I'm like, oh my god, why me? And that's all I gotta say about these two creepypastas. The first review on, Arthur's lost episode, was kind of better than, the PlayStation Sufferer, but So, like, subscribe, do all of that. See you guys later, and bye.
My big homie just got out. Used to be down, now he's just cracked out.